Joe Biden. That's Joe Biden, right? Wrong. That's Robert L. Peters. Robert L. Peters is the fake name he gave himself while he was vice president of the United States, conducting all kinds of business, it looks like, overseas and in conjunction with his son on company time, on American time. Yeah, this is an official email preparation that his national security staff was doing for him prior to a call with the president of Ukraine. And yeah, CC'd is Hunter. And look at the top, Peters, Robert L. That apparently was the pseudonym for, and it wasn't just that one. He also used the name Robin Ware for personal communication with his beautiful boy, Hunter. Really laid it on thick, my beautiful son. He was 42 years old. It's nice, but it's, I don't know. And remember this moment from the debate.
I don't make money from China. You do.
That head move. He thought, look at this. Wow, he caught me. What was he thinking when his head went back like that? How did you figure that out? Well, we all know now that he was not telling the truth when Biden replied this way.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about? China. I have not had it. The only guy made money from China is this guy. He's the only one. Nobody else has made money from China.
Wrong. Even Hunter Biden's lawyers have admitted that as part of that joint Chinese venture, Hunter received his portion of good faith seed funds. That's from Hunter Biden's own attorney. And what did he do with that money? For some bizarre reason, he shared it with his uncle and his ex-wife and his present wife and his girlfriend. And, it's just a insane situation. Now, thanks to the House Oversight Committee, we know a lot now. Let's see. From China, how much money? At least $3 million transferred to the Biden family or Biden family associates. From Romania, $1 million at least. From Ukraine, $17 million. We're talking, this is very, very serious money. And so much of this information is thanks to the House Oversight Committee, which is chaired by Congressman James Comer, Republican of Kentucky. Sir, welcome back. How are you tonight?
I'm well, thank you.
You bet. Now, Robert L. Peterson. I wonder why he chose that name. Are we wrong here? I know you're looking for more stuff from the National Archives, but what do you know about Robert L. Peterson?
Well, we know that it was a fake name he used, and how ironic is that the Biden family, we've unveiled, had 20 fake shell companies that they used to launder money from our adversaries around the world. So why not use a fake name while you're vice president to disguise the fact that you're coordinating with your son, who, by the way, you said you had a wall between the government side and the business side of Hunter Biden. But this whole thing's a joke, and it's all coming unraveled. It's taken a while to figure out, but we've been following the money. We followed emails, we followed text messages, and we figured out that he was using a fake name pertaining to his preparation to go to Ukraine to fire the prosecutor. And remember, we've seen on tape where Joe Biden said, well, son of a bee, they fired the prosecutor. That's what this was all about. Why was he using a fake name? And why in the world was the government CCing his son to let him know about all the preparation for Ukraine?
So you've reached out to the archives, I believe. We have some of those emails. You just saw them. We got them from the Marco Polo Project, which we trust. They've been very good on this stuff. You think there's a lot more out there, and it doesn't seem, I don't sense that the archives are going to be very cooperative.
Well, we'll see about the archives, but yes, there are more out there, and we believe there are some archives that are public, but they've been redacted. So much of the information I get from the government is redacted. We believe that there are some emails that would fit this pattern that have redactions. So we've asked the National Archives to give us the unredacted version so that we can use this in our investigation to determine whether or not this president is compromised. And I think most of us know the answer to that, but for the mainstream media, we need more evidence. So every day we produce more evidence, and this is another example. So the National Archives is the entity that our committee, the Oversight Committee, has jurisdiction over, that's supposed to be in charge of these records. They've been in the news a lot because both President Trump and President Biden have both been accused of mishandling classified documents. That's through the National Archives. So we want to see if the National Archives is truly a fair entity. They know about this investigation. They know the severity of the investigation. They know that the vice president has been accused of taking a bribe. They know there's mounting evidence that the family has received millions and millions of dollars from our adversaries around the world. Now there's emails that the vice president's office was using to disguise that they were being sent to Joe Biden in a fake name and copying his son, who wasn't an employee of the government. We hear the Democrats say all the time, well, Hunter Biden wasn't in office. Hunter Biden didn't work for the government. Well, why was Hunter Biden getting copied on emails about Ukraine policy when he was a director of a corrupt energy company in Ukraine?
Yeah, let's look at that email again, if we could. From the introduction, we had the email itself to the boss, which is Joe Biden, back when he was vice president. And we see that Hunter is CC'd. You know, I keep hearing from the fake news, there is no smoking gun tying any of this to Joe Biden. I think that might be the smoking gun. Or, I mean, it may not be a high caliber weapon, but that's a weapon right there. This is dynamite. And obviously they denied it, but this is, do you agree?
Yeah, this is obviously tying Joe Biden in on this scandal. And we're going to see the real quid pro quo in Ukraine. Wasn't Donald Trump calling Zelensky asking about corruption? It was Joe Biden actually going to Ukraine on Air Force Two, dangling foreign aid in front of the then president of Ukraine, demanding that he fire a prosecutor that was investigating his son's energy company that was clearly engaged in corruption in Ukraine. And then Vice President Biden accomplished that, probably the only thing he's ever accomplished from a foreign policy standpoint, and then does an interview and brags about it. All the evidence is here. So we're going to continue to press for more information. We believe there's more evidence that's been redacted by the National Archives, and we're calling on them to unredact that and present them to the House Oversight Committee.
You know, more money, billions of dollars are going to Ukraine. It's almost automatic now. I know there's a lot of support for that in the government, but some of us are kind of skeptical at this point, and it's just
I'm skeptical too.
Yeah, right?
I'm skeptical too. And you know, not only do we not have a good idea of where all that money's going, the more that I uncover with respect to corruption with Joe Biden in Ukraine, the worse it sounds that Joe Biden continues to request from Congress billions and billions of dollars more to send to Ukraine. I mean, this whole thing stinks. The vice president and the current president of the United States, Joe Biden, has lied for years about his involvement in Ukraine. And here we are sending more and more money to Ukraine. It just looks really bad. And the president is going to have to come clean about what all he did with respect to corruption and bribery in Ukraine.
Finally, real quick, the media coverage. You know, I feel like mainstream media, dominant media, they have ignored it or they've minimized it and they've made excuses. Every now and then they'll write a biting piece, but you know, they're living in denial as far as I can see. I'd love for that to change. We're
going to keep producing more evidence. I'm not worried because I know that there's going to come a time when they're going to have to talk about it. They keep moving the goalposts. The last excuse was that, well, you've never tied Joe into any of this. Well, this email today is pretty darn explosive with respect to Joe Biden using a fake name and copying his son about a trip he was going to take to fire a prosecutor investigating his son for corruption. So I think the evidence is overwhelming, and the mainstream media can continue to not talk about it, but the American people are keeping up with this, and that's one reason Joe Biden continues to lose the confidence of everyday Americans.
As we say goodbye, Congressman, if I could see that email one more time, this really is something. This really is something. Prepping for the call with Poroshenko. Robert L. Peters is the vice president. CC Hunter Biden. He's going to be potentially on that phone call. Very quickly, do we know if Hunter may have been on that phone call?
We don't know yet, but we know some people that we're going to probably be bringing in very soon, and they're going to have a lot of time to think about whether or not they're going to tell us the truth. So we'll find out a lot of things in the very near future.
Congressman Comer, many thanks. Good luck to the committee, and we'll be in touch. We'll be right back.